Hey everybody, Japan Martin Metalhead here. Hope you're going well. I've got to take some annual leave off of my job in London next month, and it's been like less than 3 months to my trip to West Africa. And I've been thinking hard and wise about where I want to go in the world next. A few days ago, I was brainstorming flying around the Middle East for roughly £300 sterling, see if I can get to 4 different nations in the Arabian Gulf. But right now, just due to politics, it might not be the most wisest place to go to right now. Um, as I have not been to any Spanish-speaking countries in South America, it would be great if I could give myself a whole month in Latin America and see how far I can go. Like, just simply, just drop myself into Colombia and give myself that time to get to all of its borders, and as a matter of fact, there's even a bus that goes from Colombia all the way to Buenos Aires. That would be such a mind-boggling experience to sit on a bus for 6 days or so from Colombia to Argentina. It can be done. It's not like the Trans-Siberian, but it would be a bit dull if you just stayed on the bus for the whole time and you didn't get out and see the sights between Colombia and Argentina. Um, There are a few different countries in Asia that I've not been to yet, such as the Koreas, Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, and Mongolia. Yes. And it's been 8 long years since I was in that part of the world, and I haven't seen the Pacific Ocean since I've seen Costa Rica. So, I'd like to see if I could get myself over to Northeast Asia, if that's the way how they say it. Yeah. And I kind of think maybe 2 weeks is doable. I can see the sights in Tokyo, Seoul, Manila, Taipei, and maybe squeeze in a visit to Ulaanbaatar. Yes. But most of my trips that have happened in the last few years, they've just happened on like thoughts and like on a wing on a prayer. Like if I tell myself that I want to go to South Africa and see all of its neighbors, I'll do that. I did go to South Africa and I did see all of its neighbors, but Mozambique, no excuses. I was just being like lazy for 10 whole days with a bit of depression just due to racism and corruption I had to deal with on that border crossing with Zimbabwe and South Africa. But if I gave myself the time to go back to South Africa, I could go on to, let's say, Mozambique, Malawi, and just even as far as Ethiopia. Now, I don't see myself wanting to go back to Australia because I need another 2 more years until I've had 10 years away from Australia. And there's nothing that really that excites me about my own country of birth. I have been wanting to return to New Zealand a few years from now for family reunions, but that won't also be like so special. It would be special if I, let's just say, flew into New Zealand for a family reunion and then I went on to Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, or Tuvalu. Make the most out of it. But what a lot of people don't know is that if you live in Europe, you can easily get to North Africa for quite cheap. And if you, let's say, fly from London or Paris to anywhere in Morocco, you could just head south, and in a couple of days, you could be in Dakar or Banjul in no time without the need of a flight. So let's go look at my map of the world, shall we? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. So this is my map of the world. The countries shaded in green are the countries that I've visited. I've been to a total of like 105, and that also includes places like Sovereign Military Order of Malta, Kosovo, Vatican City. Yeah. And I also do count my layovers in Kenya, Saudi Arabia, and Ivory Coast as visits, because I did set foot on the tarmac, and I did count that as a visit. So, I need to decide where about in the world I really want to go. I've got a lot of Africa that I'm not seeing, but I'm quite happy that I've put my flags up in all these different countries, like there's Morocco, Senegambia, part of West Africa, with like all of Ghana's neighbours, and I've been to a bit of North Africa, Tunisia and Egypt in the last year, and then I spent a whole month in Southern Africa 2 years ago. I still haven't been to anywhere in the Caribbean or any of the Spanish-speaking countries in South America, but I want to save that to a separate trip. Like, let's just say if I want to drive from Colombia all the way to Argentina, I'll do that in just one holiday. I think I'll need a month away to do it. But I can't really justify the point of, let's say, going from UK to Jamaica right here for 420 because it's just one country. Right now, you could get to St. Lucia for less than $350, and you can even get a boat across Dominica. But unfortunately, islands don't really show up that well on my maps. Now, I was thinking of going around the Middle East recently, as I still haven't been to a couple of these little tiny countries like Kuwait, Bahrain, and Oman. But the current situation, you can't fly into Israel and Jordan these days. Forgive me for that, yeah. Yeah, so... And also, so I know Saudi Arabia's opened up, and their visa is like £80 sterling. So that's just for one country. As for Central and South Asia, I can easily get a visa for Pakistan, and Afghanistan is like a no-brainer, like not to go there, but you can still go there if you want to. I was supposed to go to Tajikistan last year, but I didn't get my visa in time for the trip. I was all the way up here in Uzbekistan. When I got my visa, I didn't really want to backtrack down here because I had a flight to continue on to Azerbaijan. But this is what I'm kind of looking at like right now, okay? I have not been to this part of Asia ever. I've been to Hong Kong, and I was in Vladivostok 8 years ago, and I've seen a lot of Southeast Asia, but I've not been to the Philippines, Japan, the Koreas, and Taiwan, and I've also not been to Mongolia. So I've got 2 weeks to, get from either London or France to either, land in like Seoul or Taiwan, and just like get flights in this region and all. And that means I can get to 4 countries. Sadly, the DMZ, or the JSA in South Korea, like on the border between the 2 Koreas, it's closed right now, so you can't set foot into North Korea. That's quite unfortunate, and sadly there aren't any tours of North Korea. If you live in Europe, you can get a cheap flight from, well, like, let's just say Stansted Airport or Gatwick, and you can fly to Morocco for less than £20 sterling, even though it's going to cost you £20 to get to the airport. But if you land in like Marrakesh or Agadir, you can head south towards Mauritania, Senegal, and you'll be in West Africa in no time. I've never been to Faroe Islands because I don't consider it as a country. It's still ruled by Denmark, and as much as I think it's nice to go to Greenland, until they ever become an independent country, I'm not going to bother going there. It would be nice to go there. I know the flights between Iceland and Greenland are at least over £500, and depending on the season, you will be able to see the Aurora Borealis. But until Greenland become an independent country, I would not count this as a country. It's like, I've been to Hong Kong, but that's not a country. I've been to... I've been in Kosovo, but that's not really considered a country. It's all in politics. Yeah. And I've been in Macau, that's not really a country, that's still part of China. So, that's my map. I've been to a lot of countries between Australia, my hometown, and United Kingdom, my ancestral hometown. So there's not really much left of Asia to see, I guess. But there's a lot of Africa to see, and definitely a lot of South America. To be honest with you, I am kind of chasing 197, but I really want to get up to 165 to one of my South African buddy who's on 165 nations.